Marley from the Energy Boutique with your energy forecast for Friday, January 24th. So we have the moon in Sagittarius energy here all day, which is a beautiful energy for us to just find peace, harmony, contentment in while we explore and research different options, different opportunities for us to move on and move forward, creating the realm and reality of our dreams. Now, interestingly enough, we shifted into this Sagittarius energy late last evening. We didn't have any aspects with the moon once we shifted into this Sag energy. We just kind of sat in it. And typically speaking, because Jupiter rules over the Sag energy, there's a lot of growth that happens when the moon transits this Sag energy. We are definitely more optimistic, more positive in our mind space, in our heart space, in this particular energy. And because there are 6 different aspects taking place here today, and all 6 involve the moon, this is essentially a moon day, meaning a day for emotional refinement and realignment, especially with a new path, a new direction that, again, we're piecing the details together about so that, again, we can start manifesting these particular aspects to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. So we kick the day off with the moon in Sagittarius energy, sextiling, which is a beautiful interaction with Pluto, the great transformer, who of course is in Aquarius energy. This is fire and air, and when fire and air come together, there's going to be a spark. There's going to be a combustion of sorts, and that usually manifests in an aha moment with creative solutions. Again, emotionally speaking, we're all hyped up, we're rearing to go, we are optimistic and positive and confident that whatever it is that we can dream up, we can actually manifest it and achieve it. And Pluto over here, the great transformer, helping us to boss up, to see where we have power and control over certain aspects and details in the present moment that we could kind of adjust, improve, or manipulate in a small way to help align us with the greater, grander vision that, again, we want to end up in actually manifesting. The moon is then going to make an awkward interaction with Chiron, the wounded healer, in this Aries energy that, again, helping us with this identity shift, helping us to kind of move in and anchor in this higher version of self. But of course, when we have a tough interaction with Chiron, we're not really focused on the good. We're not focused on this new version of self. We're focused on the wounds, the pain, the trauma of the old version of self. This is when the fears, the doubts, the insecurities are going to be kicking in, especially in regards to this new goal, vision, and dream that, again, earlier, this aspect with Pluto helped to illuminate what we have to do, what we have to pursue, what we have to change, what we have to transform in order to actually get there. So as we're kind of beating ourselves up, breaking ourselves down, and feeding into the anxieties, the worries, all the details that, again, are speaking fear into the earlier vision and dream that we were excited about, we're definitely going to not feel so hot, not feel so positive, not feel so optimistic that we have what it takes in order to do what needs to be done to, again, get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. We only sit in that for a little bit of a minute. And then we have the moon in Sagittarius energy, sextiling, which is a beautiful interaction. It's a growth energy with the sun in Aquarius energy. So again, fire and air gives us a spark, a fire, a flame, gives us that combustion, gives us that aha moment, that epiphany on what we need to do. Even more than that, the moon and the sun coming together in any type of interaction is going to be illumination of what we want, need, and desire, what we need in our lives, and what we need to do in order to get it. So the moon in the Sagittarius energy is in exploration and experimentation mode, and the sun, shining a very bright light in Aquarius energy, is thinking outside of the box on where it is that, again, we're acting as the observer, seeing our lives from a third-party perspective, and therefore understanding where it is that we're creating some of the problems that we wish would resolve, and where it is that we could resolve them by getting out of our own emotions, out of our own headspace, and therefore out of our own physical way. The moon is then going to make an awkward interaction with Mars. Mars being the god of war, ruling over physical energy, drive, passion, desire, even our anger. He's currently retrograde, so again, looking back, reassessing, reanalyzing, revisiting a lot of topics and themes, especially revolving around home and family dynamics, especially revolving around the emotional stability that we are either currently leaning into or currently craving, and what we have to do to either remove and eliminate people, places, and things that are creating a little bit bit of chaos in our emotional realm, or what we need to be doing, what we need to be building towards in order to safely secure that emotional stability in our inner realm. Because this is not the greatest interaction, we're not feeling so hot, we're not feeling so good, and basically we can see the frustrations rise to the surface. We can understand where we're having a little bit of a restless nature, where the ants in our pants are kind of getting the best of us, and because of that, we're feeling the frustration of not being able to take action, make the move, see the progress that we want to be making, seeing, and absolutely being a part of at this particular juncture of the calendar. We are moving on to the moon in Sagittarius energy, semi-squaring, creating a little bit of tension and conflict with Mercury. Mercury rules over the mental plane, rules over information, communication, how it is that we express ourselves. Mercury is in Capricorn energy. Again, very serious, very somber, tunnel vision goggles on, trying to focus on what needs to be done, adding things to the to-do list, what we have to close the door upon, what we have to tie the loose ends up about, what we have to essentially come to an ending and a closure of before we can pour all of our time, energy, and efforts into building this new foundation, this new structure in our lives that will eventually be housing the dreams, the goals, the visions that we will be building upon it. Because this is a tension point, our heart and our head are not going to be on the same page, mostly because the moon in Sagittarius is very impulsive, very much flying by the seat of our pants, and the Capricorn energy that Mercury is in wants nothing to do with that. We are essentially in a state of paralysis in the Capricorn energy. We need a thought out, carefully strategized plan before we're going to take any actions, make any moves. Flying by the seat of our pants and not the thing to do at this particular juncture. So emotionally speaking, even though we're all revved up, wanting to kind of do all of the things, unless it makes sense, unless we've thought about it for a very long time, unless we've carefully weighed the pros and cons, the highs, the lows, the everything in between, we're not doing a damn thing. Now, because Mercury is involved, and this does have an impact on communication as well, there's going to be a little bit of friction, a little bit of conflict that emerges in our interactions with other people, because again, we have this tug of war taking place. Emotionally speaking, we want to move on, we want to move forward, we want to see progress, we want to take action, we want to make moves. Our headspace locked in, laser beam focused, that we're not doing a damn thing unless it makes sense, unless we checked off all the boxes, unless it's going to actually be productive in a way to get us from where it is that we're at to where it is that we desire to be. The last thing that we have going on here today is the moon in the Sagittarius energy, directly opposing, sitting across from Jupiter. So Jupiter rules over the Sagittarius energy. So anytime we're interacting with the ruler of the energy that the moon is currently in, there's going to be an intensity here more so than interacting with any other planet. Jupiter is the planet of growth, expansion, beliefs, abundance, and blessings. He's currently retrograde, again, looking back, reassessing, reanalyzing, reflecting. And in Gemini energy, again, Sag and Gemini energy sit across from each other in the zodiac wheel, representing the axis of what I know to be true versus what I believe to be true. Sagittarius energy is about belief. The Gemini energy is actual facts, actual data, actual knowledge. Because Jupiter is retrograde in this Gemini energy, we're pushing the boundaries, expanding upon old ideas that got backburnered, old information, wisdom, and knowledge that we're failing to integrate into our present moment, old conversations that suddenly, with this new level of consciousness, we are seeing very differently. And we're also seeing the repercussions of old conversations and how they led to this particular juncture point right now. And of course, in that Gemini energy, it's all about revisiting old information, old perspectives, old conversations, old interactions that we're seeing very differently now because we've learned the tough love life lesson. We've had a certain growth period. And of course, we're in a new level of awareness. We're in a new level of consciousness. That Sag and Gemini energy, again, fire and air, there is going to be another spark, another fire, another flame kind of getting reignited, if you will, but it's coming out of tension, meaning you may have clarity. You may have a beautiful idea that comes out of having conflict and tension, feeling like your back is against the wall, feeling like you're so confused, you don't know what to do. There's going to be this emotional and mental kerfuffle, if you will. And we're starting to see that the options and the opportunities that we have to move on and move forward are riddled with obstacles and challenges. Now, when we take a good opportunity to give our head a shake, and we see challenges and obstacles as opportunities for growth, that's when the magic happens. So this is about flipping the script in the most positive of narratives, flipping our perspectives to see the bad as a option and opportunity to change, transform into the quote unquote good, and a real good test, if you will, to second guess yourself, to ask some very interesting questions about yourself, to see whether or not you still believe in the same things, and whether what your current truth actually is, whether it still is based on facts, on data, on experience, or whether or not you are fabricating a certain, let's call it, or romanticizing a certain situation and circumstance that isn't rooted in reality. So although this isn't going to feel good, although we're kind of going to be at odds with ourselves, what comes out of that is a realization for growth, for expansion, especially where our headspace and our belief system is concerned.